Okay, let's start. Good morning, everyone. This is lecture 17 for incident response technology. We will continue the Splunk introduction. And after I finish this, the remaining time, I will introduce the second slide, which is about case study by using Splunk to analyze and find out security attacks. So this is a case study, that's a zip file. Okay, let me first finish this Splunk. I hope you have already installed Splunk on your own computer. Splunk, you can install it on your host computer, so because there's no security risk, and it should be very easy. So let me go on. So last time I showed how you can import a zip file into Splunk. Then it can Splunk can do unzip and also index all the files in that collected data set, and it will show this you can so basically this is search bar, and this will show the histogram of the number of events in every time interval. The time interval is defined. Normally, it's defined as one hour, 1 day, or 1 hour, or 1 minute, or 1 second. So that's how this histogram will show how many events in that time period, satisfying this search criteria. And the bottom window will show the actual event. Of course, it will only show the most recent event. It's in the reverse time order. Because Splunk mostly used is for real-time monitoring. So in real-time monitoring, you want to show most recent event happening, and in this top window, so you can see what is going on. But of course, for forensic analysis, like what we are doing right now is like a forensic analysis. We have a collected data trace, and we use this software to analyze the collected data trace to find out what happened during that time period based on the collected trace. So for forensic analysis, probably it's more natural to show this event in according to time order. To do that, okay, let me show this. So if you install it on your own computer, you can use this 127.0.0.1,8000 to connect to the Splunk daemon server. If you install the Splunk on, for example, on one computer at your home, then you want to use it on another computer. Then on the second computer, you should put in the Splunk server's IP address here, and also put 8000 to connect to the Splunk D server. Because right now my virtual machine in UCF, I can only use NAT network. In NAT network mode, the host OS is invisible to the virtual machine. So I cannot demonstrate that you use virtual machine to access this host machine's Splunk daemon. But in your home, if you set up your virtual machine in bridge adapter mode, then you can install it on your host OS, then go to your virtual machine like a Kali Linux or Windows VM, and then use a browser to access this Splunk daemon by putting in your host machine's IP address here. Okay, so this time you can see that I didn't import any data. This search is empty, nothing is going on. You can either use the search history. So these are the previous, whatever you have searched before, it will be logged by the Splunk. So you can click any one of them and add to search. Then you can return back to, for example, the previous search that you have done. So this is a quick way for you to go back to dealing with the data set that you last did. For example, if you have imported multiple data sets, then maybe this is the most simple way to go back to only search the most recent data set you are processing. So that is this add to search. Then you, this add to search, but the time is by default, it's the first time, it's last 24 hours. Then that would be no things will happen in last 24 hours. So you need to change the time to make sure it is all time. Then you can return back to the previous search. Another way that if the first time you come in, you want to process, for example, one of the data sets you have imported before, you can go to, let me see, I think you can go to data set. Well, these are all data sets because this is a Splunk internal samples. Let me see, yours is nothing. These apps, no. I forgot where to see the previous data set. Let me see. Okay, I will find out because I think I did this before, but maybe the new version, it has changed where the place to find existing data set. For online students, well, not many online students right now. Do you know where to go to the data set, learn more about data set? Well, this is help. Okay, so what I have is I will just use this previous search because another way you can, of course, you can type in these things like if you don't type in the source, because in one project you can import multiple zip files, because in our simple data set, each project name, because this host is like the project name, each project name will only import one zip file. So if we don't care which zip file in this project we want to do search, you can remove this just to keep the host. Then it will be the same thing. So if you don't remember which data set, you can just put in host equal to the project name you created before. Then all the search is related to that single project. For this one is because for sometimes one project you can import multiple zip files. So all of them will be treated as a data set for that project. And so adding this source, you can specify that for under this project, only dealing with this zip file. This star just means any file within the zip file. So that's the narrow down for the search. And after that, these are just the search keyword. Okay, so let's return back to here. So by doing simple keyword search, then it will find any event that has that specific keyword. It doesn't matter where in which position this keyword is. So it's just a text, a very basic text search. But if you want to search, for example, for HTTP for this 400 status code, because 400 status code means bad request. Using this one will give you overestimate result, because 400 may appear in that status code. It may appear in some other part of the event log. So you can see that right now it's you always need to pay attention to this time period. So right now it's all time. So there are 758 events. But if you want to search for that specific status code, you can see this because HTTP is understood by Splunk. So Splunk will extract HTTP as a status code. So if you go to right side panel, you can see that this status code actually have so many. So it means that these events, the 400 does not appear in the status code part, but appeared in some other part. So that's why you are overestimate. So if you want to estimate this 400 status code more accurately, we know that Splunk extracted as a status. So you can use this status equal to 400 to do the search. Then you can see that we have only 701 events. Originally, it's the 750 some event. And if you come back to see the status, now we only have one status, 400 here. So this will give you more accurate pinpoint search, that if you want to search for anything that has been extracted by Splunk, you can use this field name equal to the value to specify, just search for that. Of course, you can make it two-step. You do this simple keyword search. Then you come down and go to status. Click the status, it will show the statistic. If you click like 400, then you can see that Splunk will automatically add that search status equal 400 in this search box. So if you don't remember to type in this in the search box, you can do this mouse operation, and the Splunk can type in for you. In that sense, it's very similar to Google Advanced Search. Remember, in Google Advanced Search, this is very easy to use when you type in the keyword like incident response, and you specify like a region, like the domain, for example, .edu domain, and file type like PPT. And if you do the advanced search, this is mouse operation. But if you do the advanced search, Google actually generates this search phrase for you, put in this search box. So that is actually Google do. So Splunk is similar. You can use mouse operation to click those fields to select some part. Then it will automatically be added to the search box and do that exact search for you. And another I want you to think back is the relationship between Splunk and Wireshark. So they are all about traffic and all traffic capturing and search and analysis. But they are very different because Splunk, as a Wireshark, only process Wireshark trace or TCP dump trace, just those. network packet trace. So that's the Wireshark do. It can capture network traffic. It's all about packet and frame. Splunk, on the other hand, it collects data from other software's logs. So their data source is different. Splunk, Wireshark does traffic capturing, Splunk does log processing. So Splunk data collector would do the data collection by collecting those log file and send to Splunk server. But the log file is actually captured by all those different distributed softwares. They have nothing to do with Splunk. And if we want to analysis networking traffic, then Wireshark will be much better because Wireshark is specific for that job. Splunk, on the other hand, it's better to deal with all kinds of data log, and it's better to deal with distributed data log. If you only check one data log, maybe you don't need to use Splunk. You can check it using any text processing software. You can do search by yourself. But if you want to dealing with logs from many logs from different computer, different computing device, then Splunk is the one that can finish the job. Okay, let's move on. So if you want to add 300, for example, in HTTP status code, they have 200 is the most dominant one because that's the normal HTTP response. 400 is bad request. 300 is another error code for HTTP response. So if we want to show a log that is either 400 status code or 300 status code, how do we do? We can use this logical word "or" to connect them. This "or" must be capital letter, otherwise Splunk does not recognize it as a logical word. It will just think it as a keyword. Whether it is understood as a logical word or keyword, you can, based on the color, to find out. For example, this status is this. If you use this "or" is treated just as a keyword, so it doesn't treat it as a logical word. But if you use capital letter "OR," you can see that it is orange color. That means Splunk is interpreted as a logical word. If you do the search, well, the status, there's no status 200. So let me show not 200. So I want to show all the HTTP response that does not have this normal HTTP response status code, because I want to see what other abnormal status code there are. So there's no 400, but there are some other, like 404 or 400. So if we use this status equal to 400 or status equal to 404, you can see here we have do the search correctly. It will show all the event that is either 400 or 404 status. So you can see this all, what does this all means here. Next, we have showed this window several rounds. So this is a very useful window to basically show you for any extracted field, what are the different values for that extracted field, and what's the distribution, like what's the distribution for each value. So that's because string search is not explicit. If you only search keyword 300, then there may be some some log that is has this 300 keyword in them. Explicit search for code equal to, for example, 2 value, where we use this all to do that. And return all the event that contain these 2 values. Next is that for this, we can show some graph, because the best way to help incident response person to know that there are some abnormal thing happen is to show some dynamic graph. The graph will pass on more information to human's eye and the brain than just a glance of pure text. So Splunk have a lot of way to generate those statistical graphs. This, if you click top value by time, it basically here, top value by time, then you can show a graph. Basically, it's a pie chart for this. So, for example, for 400 and 404, let me just use like 200, not 200. So we want to show a graph that has more status code. So these are the status code, and these are the frequency, number of count. You can use here. There are 2 values that is used for this is the top value and top value by time. So we will show them, each of them individually. So remember, when you click that, you can see that it actually can be generated by using this filter. Remember, this vertical bar just means pipeline, because this syntax for this search field is like a Linux command line. So this pipeline just means you ask a Splunk first to do this command, to do this search, that status not equal to 200. Then you run the next command. The next command is time chart. Basically, generate a chart graph. Time chart count by status. So basically, for the time chart, we use this status field as the count to do this drawing. Count by status. Limit equal to 10. It just means if there are 20 value for that specific field, you can limit how many lines you want to draw. So by default, it will draw no more than 10 lines. So for example, if I limit like 4, because right now there are 8 lines here, because this is 8. You can see this. These are the chart graph, and these are the table. It's like a spreadsheet to show for these 8 status code, what are the value. This is called time chart because each point show the number of count in that particular time, and here each time is 1 hour by default. Of course, you can change the time to make it time chart to be drawn for every 1 minute or 1 second. So that's a time chart. So here just to show this is time on each day, how many count of each error code appeared in the event log. And if I limit 4, because this 8 line is too much to see. If I limit 4, you can click enter. Then it will only draw 4 lines. Basically, well, 5 lines actually. It will draw the top 4 value. Top 4 value means their count is the top 4. Then all the other values, they will be added together and put in this other curve line. So if you limit 4, then you will have 5 lines to be drawn on the graph. If you limit 3, you will have 4 lines drawn on the graph. So this is visualization. And when you move your mouse on the line, Splunk will show what's the actual value on that. And this is a spreadsheet format for this detailed statistical value. And visualization, you can draw this using different format by clicking this format button here. So in my demonstration here, this is a line chart. This is line chart. We basically draw the line. You can change the format. This is x-axis, y-axis. Right now is the default. And the legend, where do you want to show the legend? Those things. But I can change the chart. Right now is a line chart. So if I draw this chart, area chart, and another there is a bar chart. So this is bar chart. Remember, we only draw five curves. So every day there are 5 bars here. So each day there are 5 bars. So this is a column. So this is called column chart. Visualization. Yeah. Statistic basically is that what's showed in this field. Visualization. Let me show. This is another type of chart. I don't know how it's used. It will show single chart. And this is a pie chart. Pie chart. Okay, so that is this visualization. This visualization is generated by clicking this top value by time. So that is one graph we can draw. Another graph we can draw is clicking this top value. So you can see the difference. Top value by time means that for every time interval, we draw this data point. So if you have 10 time interval, then every time interval, you will have like 5 data points. So that's how many data points will be shown on the graph. Top value, on the other hand, it only shows like the combined cumulative count for every status field. So if we go back to this previous search, if we go back to the previous search and still this status, we click this top value, then it basically draw this is bar chart. It basically draw just because there are 8 curves, so it just draw 8 value on the graph. So this is a column chart. But for this top value drawing, the best graph to show is probably this pie chart. So it will show 8 value here. Of course, if we and you can see this this command. Previously, top value by time is a command is time chart. Right now, if you draw top value, the command is actually called top. So you can see this. This command is in blue color. So that means blue color text here means command. Orange color text means some logical word like or, like and. Limit is this, you can think that this is parameter coming with that command. So limit 20 status. If we limit like 4, then it will only show 4 values here, the top 4 value. It will not show that other, it will not combine all the other field count together. It will only show the 4 value. And this limit 4 status just means you draw this top command. You use this status field to draw this top command. So that's the difference between this top value and top value by time. make sure that you understand what's the difference between these two. Top value by time is basically draw some histogram. It's histogram. Top value is just the overall cumulative number for your search time. Okay, any questions so far for this drawing? Oh, have you two installed Splunk? Yeah, okay. So top value by time is the time chart command. So time chart count by which field and limit equal to what. So that's this. Okay, we have showed this this graph before, and for this column chart, you can actually change this because sometimes you want to stack them together. Let me demonstrate that. So status top value by time, and if you show this column chart, and suppose we just limit 4, then you can see that, well, limit 4, we only show the top 4 value. All the others, they are combined to be others. But still, it looks too much bar there. So because every time, every access point, we have 5 data. We have 5 bar listed here, and they are too much to show. Then you can change the format. So this is not stacked. You can use the stacked format. Stacked format just means for every access data point, all the data value, these 5 data value, they will be stacked together. And this stack, the height will represent that count value. So this is the stack. And you can see in each day which events happened most, which event happened less by checking this thickness of them. This is that called stacked. Another is called stack 100%. Stack 100% just means all the bars, they look exactly the same height, but actually the total number is different. But stack 100% just means it wants you to see what's the fraction, what's the proportion of those counting value in each day's result. So it want to show you the relative size for every data point. So that's the stack format. But this normal stacked format maybe give you more information, not only the fraction proportion, but also the cumulative number in each day. Because some day they have higher number, some day they have lower number. So that's a cumulative. Okay. Now we want to add this result into dashboard. Dashboard, you should be familiar with the concept, because in web course, once you log into web course, it will show the dashboard, will show all the current semester's course. Each course is one block. So that is called dashboard for the web course. For Splunk, you can also create a dashboard. So you can create multiple graphs to put on the whole screen, like a big computer screen in this IT department. Then on this big computer screen, you can show multiple graphs. Each one is one block. Then each graph will represent one particular statistic that you pay attention. For example, total number of login attempt, or total number of web client to your server, or their geolocation for those web clients. So you show many statistical graph on your big computer screen. Then if any graph shows some abnormal picture, then you will know that something may be wrong. So that is a dashboard used for Splunk. It's just to create this real-time statistical graph that you can monitor your network condition, your company's computer condition. So let's do that for this. I will not limit, for example, I will limit 8. This is time chart. Why my graph looks so ugly? Because this one drill down, because we only have these several days. So if I focused on one particular day, on one particular day is suppose I only focus on, for example, this is normal, but in these days there are so many events, so I want to focus on this particular day. Double click, then this search time period will be changed. Then let me draw this graph because we have more access data points, so it looks better. It's a top value. So this is right now every bar is 1 hour. No, it's not 1 hour. It is half an hour. Yeah, each bar is a half an hour. You can see this is 10 a.m. This is 10:30 a.m. So each bar is half an hour. Okay, so if I want to put this graph into a dashboard, you can use this save as. You can save as a report, or you save as a new dashboard or existing dashboard. If you save in an existing dashboard, it will be add one block to your existing dashboard. Right now, I don't have any dashboard, so I will save as in a new dashboard. So new dashboard, you need to give this a name, like so it's a tutorial for this. You can add optional. So other, I will not change. Save to dashboard. You must select dashboard type. Or panel. This is panel title. Panel title is just like the name for that particular dashboard. This is because this is the dashboard title. So if you see your web course, you can see that this is a dashboard title. You can see that this is dashboard title. Dashboard title. And for each dashboard, whatever displayed here, you can see that is the dashboard name. So we need to give this panel title. This panel, like this is HTTP, not normal status, and save to dashboard. You must select dashboard type. Oh, sorry, I haven't selected dashboard type. Where is dashboard type? Oh, classic dashboard. This is a new one. In older versions, there is only one dashboard type. So let me just show. This is more visually rich. Well, let me just use this dashboard. Dashboard layout. I will just use a grid layout. Full layout, you can overlap them. You can move it around. Grid is always put in this grid format. I will use a simple one, grid layout. So your dashboard has been created. So I can view the dashboard. Right now, you can see that right now I only have one panel for the dashboard. So this is the dashboard title, and this is the panel title. So basically, the name I give to this panel, and you can move it around. You can make it bigger or smaller. But right now we only have one panel, and then we can add more to this dashboard. Let me go back. Okay. In the older versions, there's only classic dashboard. Right now, they add this the new dashboard. But so my screenshot on the slides, it will show for the older version of the dashboard. What do you do? Basically, this dashboard title and panel title. Okay, let's do another search back and another one that's important for you to know is for Splunk. Even though Splunk understands many different formats of data logs, but still there could be some data log that Splunk does not understand. Then it would just treat all the text as the text. Or another case that Splunk understands our data format, but there are some specific field Splunk does not extract. So these are the extracted field by the Splunk. But for example, for some specific data log, you want to analyze a specific field, but that field has not been extracted by Splunk automatically. In that case, you need to tell Splunk to extract that specific field for that data log. So from this slide, it will show you how you can do that. But no field currently exists. Suppose you want to know the browser, what web browsers are access a site. But currently, there is no such field extracted. Then you need to manually tell Splunk that which field you should try to extract. So we just need to find one event that contains that browser. So suppose this data log is Mozilla. So we know that from this particular one event, this is get command. So this is a client HTTP get command to the server. So the client browser is Mozilla, the 5.0 version. But Splunk does not extract the browser type in its extracted field. So you need to tell Splunk to extract this field. So how do you do that? You just select one of the events, and let me demonstrate that. So let's just have this single keyword. And for example, this first log event has this Mozilla. So we want to use exclude from search. So we want to add this in this field. So you can click here, expand this, and event action with extract field. So you click this event action, then you click this it will list all the extracted fields related to this single event, but there's no browser type extracted. The URL has been extracted, URL path query, but not the browser type. So you click this event action, you click this extract field, and there are two ways to basically here just show that single event. And usually we use this regular expression to do this text processing. Regular expression is the default text search way by Linux. Remember, Splunk is many things of the Splunk design was built based on Linux, based on Unix operation. So it also uses regular expression. You click here, then you click the next, basically first select method. Next, select the field. So we want to select this Mozilla. So once you finish selecting that, this will pop up. You can give it a field name, browser type. So I give this field name is browser type. Then in the bottom, it will just show that Splunk will basically show that for some example event, what field has been extracted based on the field you selected. So this is Mozilla, and it all select. So we can click if everything looks normal, like you can go through them. And here you can see that it's a Google bot. So even though you select is Mozilla, but Splunk would just treat whatever you select as a specific format. It won't extract. It doesn't treat it as a keyword, so it doesn't just extract that specific text. Find that this Google bot, it actually looks like in the same position in the data log, like what you have selected, Mozilla. So it also treated as that field value. So this is seems correct. We can click next, and next is validate. Validate, it just means suppose you don't want this to be extracted as its browser type field. You can click this check to remove this single event. Then Splunk know that you don't want such kind of one to be treated as a browser type. So this is this called validation. This validate step. So suppose we don't cut off anything, we just next, then it's save. This is a field. This is regular expression, actual regular expression generated to search for that field, and we can do finish. You can extract more field or go back. How do you go back? If you click this to go back, it will go back to this original way. So for me, I usually use click this home button. So you can see this home button. Then I go to the search history and use the most recent search. Of course, I need to change the time to go back to my previous search. Okay, now you can see that here, this browser type has been extracted by Splunk and added in this left panel to show all the extracted fields. So if you click this browser type, you can see that Splunk process and find out these browser type, Mozilla, Opera, Googlebot. So those are the fields that you have added. So let me show this screenshot. How do you add a browser type? this effective field, you basically for one event, you click here to expand it. Then if you cannot find it in the extracted field, you click this event action, you click this extract field to build a new extract field, then go through these steps. We usually use regular expression, and then select the part that you want to be one value for that specific field. You give this a field name, and then it will ask you to do some validation. And open the permission to app will allow user to leverage this extraction. So you can use that as well. So this browser type will show up like here. Okay, so suppose we want to add this into panel as well. Browser type, we want to generate a graph and add it to the dashboard. So suppose we want to add like top value to the dashboard. So this is top value, but for top value, the best graph is a pie chart. Pie chart will clearly show the proportion of each browser type. So if you add this graph into your dashboard, if at some time you suddenly see that this blue pie suddenly become smaller, or one of these small pie suddenly become bigger, then that might be some abnormal thing happen. So this is this one, and if I want to save into a dashboard, suppose I want to save to existing dashboard. These are the pre-built dashboard by Splunk. So this is one we built, and you give it a panel title. This is HTTP browser type. And if you view dashboard, and you can see that these two dashboard here. And you can make them side by side. And you can click this edit, and then you can move around these panels. So let me click this edit. Then you can move them here, or drag them here. So here just to show how big you want this is. So suppose I want to make this one bigger, this one smaller. I will just do that. After finish the editing, you can save. And now you can see that this is a dashboard. So in the dashboard, you can resize each panel and make them shift their position to make it look better for you. Another very useful statistic to a graph to show is geographic location, especially if you want to monitor where the client comes from. Suppose for your web server or e-commerce website, you want to know where your customer comes from. And because the customer, they will review the IP address. And remember, in internet, we have so many geolocation, IP locators application. You can, for IP address, it can tell where this IP address comes from. So Splunk can also has its own geolocation information service to find out where this IP address come from. And if you want to show that, let me show. Let me go back to the search. Oh. Go back to the search. Suppose I want to show that not 200, just a normal search where, for the IP address for all the requests, the IP address is in the HTTP log, and this is the browser's this client IP address. Splunk has already extracted that field, so we don't need to create a new field anymore. This field is where is it? Let me see. Is the client IP. Here. This field is called client IP. It has already been extracted by Splunk. If you click here, it will show the top 10 client IP here, how many accounts they have. And so how do we add that? For this, to draw the geolocation, there's no simple mouse operation to generate the command anymore. You need to type in this geolocation, generate that graph command. So the command is this: you type in this vertical line, the pipeline, and this IP location, and the field is a client IP. Then it will show that. So basically, for this operation, you cannot just use mouse click to generate that command, because that command may be a little bit more advanced. And it's a graphic user interface Splunk currently has not built into this mouse operation. So you need to actually type in the command. It's IP. Oh, no. It's a vertical line. I typed in explain this time. Vertical line is this. Yeah, if you type in the vertical, this pipeline correctly, it will immediately pop up all the commands that's supported. So you can, see how many commands supported by this Splunk. That command, you can see this time chart, and top, we have shown these two commands. The one we will use is IP location. Where is that? Yeah, it's IP location. Why I couldn't find this command? IP. Oh yeah, it has this command, but it doesn't show here. So if you type I, it will show all the commands that start with I. So maybe this is similar to Wireshark. In Wireshark display field, you can type in partial command. It will show all the command possible. So IP location, and the field is this client IP field. So if you use that, you click search, and the thing useful is So this is against this max-mine database, basically pulling city, country, state information. But this one cannot be used alone because it IP location, find location of this. But if you want to draw a graph, like then you need to tell what kind of graph you want to draw. This geostats basically show what stack you want to draw. So basically here the command is a little bit pivot. It's a little bit advanced, so you cannot use mouse click to generate that command. This IP location basically generates that just this information. Statistic, let me see what statistic, visualization, it doesn't show visualization. So we still need to type in the pipeline. Geostat. Geostat is a geolocation graph. Geostat, then you need to see count by which field. So you want to count by what kind of field, then it will show that field. So let's see what kind of field there are. So these are all the fields you want to count. So suppose I want to count by what's the action? Count by this HTTP command, HTTP method. So suppose we want to count by this method. There are two methods. So we use this count by method. So that's the field. And now you can do the search. Now it will generate this visualization graph. No, something wrong here. IP location, client IP, geostats count by. Graph. It's because originally I shared pie graph, so this show pie graph. Here, because of this geostat and IP location command, it provides this new graph. This is a global graph. Now you can see that where this count by field shows. Count by field basically show this pie size shows how many, basically represent how many count coming from that specific location. Then for every location, this pie chart will show this count by which field. So right now there are two values in this field of the method. So the pie chart was just to show for this two method, get command, post command, what are their statistics. So it showed that from Europe, from Asia, and from US, these are top 3 locations where they send this HTTP command to the Buttercup game web server. And here are some smaller places they send this. You can do count by some others, like count by, for example, this status, because we showed for website, right? You can show count by status. Remember, we have removed these 200 status. So all the status, they are the abnormal status. So you can see all the status. So this is a geolocation. Now, so this is very useful graph. So let's add to the existing dashboard. The dashboard studio does not support. Yeah, this new dashboard studio is not good. The classic dashboard support this. So I have to create a classical dashboard. I should not try this new dashboard. That new dashboard does not support that. This is this. Some error ID already exists. Oh, and this ID already exists. So this is this dashboard. In my screenshot, because I add dashboard, I add to the existing dashboard, so it will put here. And this is a classical dashboard. So try to use the classical. The new one is not functioning well. It cannot add this kind of graph into this dashboard. And then you can move around this dashboard to make them have different size. So adjust to your own preference. And why the dashboard is useful? Because when you add dashboard in the Splunk, you are doing real-time monitoring. So all the graphs showing on the dashboard, they will change as you receive more data log from your company's computer. So if any one of these dashboards suddenly shows some change, then you know that well, something may happen. Well, maybe it's an attack, or maybe it's just because of some flash event. For example, if your company suddenly sells some very heavily discounted product to a specific region, then maybe from that region there will be much more connection to your website. So that's called flash event. That's the normal event. But if any abnormal sudden change, it could be an indication that you're under attack. Okay, so we have seen that this Splunk search support a lot of many different commands. Let me return back to my previous. And so remember, when you add a pipeline, these are all the commands it can support. So we only introduced a very basic command here. So there are more than 140 search commands that you can use. Their syntax is similar to Unix because it is built based on Unix concept. So that's why it has this pipeline and also based on SQL. So optimized for time series data because all the data log is can be treated as a time series data. I don't know if this slide exists or not, but let me see. Yeah, this slide is still exists on the slide here. So this slide basically shows that the command option. So the syntax for this search field is that search and filter pipeline, you can mount pipeline, you can do a report, you can do the last is cleanup. Because if you run a complicated search command, you can have many commands. Then some command, they may generate some temporary file. Then you can do cleanup to delete those temporary files. You can also generate report. Of course, right now you can generate report by doing something like save as a report using this. But if you're an experienced user, you don't need to use mouse operation. You can directly type in the search field and generate the report based on your search field. So it feels like you are writing a small program and in that search field. These are some commands. Some example of search that we have showed, like a time chart and count by a field. This is top value by time. So if you use mouse operation, this is corresponding top value by time. Another top value is using this command as top. So that's a command that, and this is like when a specific value over some threshold, it will satisfy this search field. Status, time chart, and count by. This is count by URI path. We have showed IP location. So IP location is always used together with this geostats together in order to generate a geolocation type of graph. Another, you can use this history command to see all the previous history search you have used. For example, you directly type in history. Oh no. No, the history to see previous search used. Yeah, I think this one is different from previous year. Previous year, you can use this to show the search history. Another command that is useful is this one. Let me show you. Remember, you always need to change the time back to the one that you want. Then you can use this history of the search query. Another one is that by default, it will show the event all in the reverse time order. Basically, the most recent one will show up at top. But if you are doing for forensic analysis, it's natural to show the event in the according to time order because you want to see what is happening when time going on. Then in that case, you want to show this event in the using this command reverse pipeline using reverse command. Then you can see that all this event will show top, and the event will be show up in the according to time order. You can see 56 seconds. This is 1 minute 16 seconds, and 11 minutes 19 seconds. So all the log will be show up according to the sequential time order. That is helpful when you do forensic analysis. Okay, that's all for this introduction slides. So, what's the question? Will there be class on Thanksgiving week? Yes, Thanksgiving only one day is holiday, so I don't know Monday or Wednesday. Probably Wednesday we'll have no class, but I need to check whether Wednesday is a holiday time for Thanksgiving or not. But Monday definitely we will have class on Monday. Okay, so next time I will introduce that case study for the Splunk. Okay, that's all for today's class. See you this Wednesday.
See you Wednesday. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.